Ah, fuck yeah, finally. Oh wait, it's already out? Project Heroes is the name and Sword Action was the game. The true spiritual sequel to Killer 7, free from licensing hell. Originally a Xbox 350 title before switching to the Wii for both budget and design reasons, as the team envisioned a much more visceral feel to combat by way of motion controller. It was a notably ambitious game for Grasshopper at the time in terms of scope, with a plethora of game styles, slick combat and animations, and a sprawling open world. At least that was their intention. Meet Travis, no relation. A depraved, haughty, smooth-talking, Higa hoodie-wearing otaku assassin on the path to become #1 on the leaderboard of the United Assassins Association, helicoptering his bean katana in hopes of getting laid with one tall, beautiful blonde with a racist accent. Not like he has much of a choice, as he's practically locked into a steep fandom contract which he happily complies with. No! We start with raiding a mansion belonging to the 10th ranked member, Death Metal. You fight with a beam katana by way of button mashing to wear enemies down and waggling away to finish them off with a clean slice. You can also choose to get up close and stun someone with a few roundhouses and finishing them off with a quick suplex and a light tap of the katana. Really, the most complex move you'll pull off will be a well-timed sidestep after blocking, which will let you guard break and wail on them for a good chunk of damage. It's simple, but effective as all fuck. Waggling feels cathartic and manages to keep that same level of engagement with every fight, having to charge up your batteries often by furiously shaking your Wiimote like you're pooling on your greasy chode. Every kill takes a spin in the slot machine, and landing a jackpot will let you go Cowboy Curtis on enemies as you finish them in various ridiculously gruesome ways. Out of the 3 regions, the American version is suited as intended vision, with gruesome decapitations and Mickey-esque fountains of scarlet red showering the battleground. Like previous works, the game has a darker undertone that's profanely sugar-coated with an abrasive, morbidly comedic tone throughout. Each boss is a small glimpse to a different twisted perspective in the life of a killer and an overarching social critique, balancing it out with cheeky, self-aware writing for contrast. Set writing elevated by Mr. What's-His-Name himself, Robin Atkin Down Syndrome playing Travis.
Hey! He's gone! Mr. Sir Henry motherfucker, he just jetted!
The fourth wall is just like, it's fucking gone, forget about it. It even extends to the UI's aesthetic with lots of pixelated graphics that beep and boop. Its visual style is just as bold. The desaturated cel shading and rough textures give it a gritty comic book style look. Can't say I like it, but it does look pretty good for running on 2 shit cubes taped together. Even though, at times, it's pushing the hardware with the town of Santa Destroy. Simping for Sylvia don't come cheap, and Travis can't go anywhere if he keeps living that neat life. After you're done playing with your pussy and taking a fat shit, you go out in the town running errands and looking for any dead-end jobs. You'll have various wagey gigs ranging from cleaning up graffiti downtown to putting your life on the line and wrangling poisonous scorpions and doing deadly bike stunts. Said bike being what you use to get around and, It don't steer too great. You can also do contract killings as a side job, which end up making more money per task than the 9 to 5 at the gas station in a week. Some of these can be real fucking cunts though. Other side activities consist of buying threads, katana upgrades, or pornos at the local video rental. In the meantime, you can also train with Thunder Ryu, your trusted mentor and molesting buddy since childhood. While varied with activities, the world itself feels void of any life in that GTA 3 ghost town sort of way. Buildings are mostly uniform, the cars slide on rails, NPCs never react outside of a yelp when being run over, and the shitty draw distance has foliage popping up and buildings being textured 3 feet in front of you. It really feels like Suda got a whiff of that AAA but didn't really have the team or budget to do so, which in itself makes it a charming endeavor. After getting enough synth bucks, you can deposit them until the next fight is set up. Each stage has you fight off waves of enemies as an appetizer to the main course. Most of these are one and done ordeals, but some have a few minigames sprinkled in to pad them out. You can try your hand at baseball or committing domestic terrorism. And after a quick degrading phone call from Sylvia, you finally get a one-on-one fight with the big dicks and clits. Each member stands apart with a unique design and charm. Some cool, some psychotic, and others faggots. You already know who's my fave. There's a different gimmick for every fight, but anything that deviates from up-close sword fighting tends to be pretty shit. Speedbuster is a big offender, as you have to zigzag across a wide hallway just to walk up to her and press A. And that's besides having a fight that's literally a bossless corridor. While fights can fall flat, the music is fucking always on point. Masafumi Takada is back to compose, delivering an amazing soundtrack and IMO the peak of his output. Similar to his work in God Hand, the soundtrack features a bevy of different musical styles and instrumentation with different approaches to every track. One thing in common is the different leitmotifs of the original melody, reused and reinterpreted in a way that fits every scene, from intense fights with lots of heavy techno, an Eye of the Tiger riff when working out at the gym, and a forebodingly airy sounding build-up to the next boss and everything in between. This is all, of course, separate from the boss tracks, each one having their own unique theme. I take too much time talking about all of them, so I'll just pick out the best ones. Shinobu's fight uses a funky bass line and a steady beat with shifting vocals and what I'm too musically illiterate to describe that ultimately build up to a wild guitar riff as the action crescendos, making it very fitting for the Grindhouse vibe. Destroyman theme starts with what I can describe as someone stuffing frogs and ice cubes in a wind chime and shaking it around to create an eerie jingle that loops as the beat starts matching its pace. This slowly builds up to a catchy dance rhythm that dives into a psychotic trance as the bass line takes hold. Holly's theme is a surreal trance track with a dissonant wave of sound soaring over a bumping bass, looping over the sound of small synths whistling like bombs diving from the sky, going hand in hand with the explosive beachside fight. So yeah, it's good. It's like a total of 70 tracks, kinda good, so go fucking listen to it. The sound mixer should've got him fired though. In sum, No More Heroes is an amazing, memorable, and crazy game. All the sword waggling, elbow dropping, and masturbating action amounts to pure kino. While the open world segment leaves a lot to be desired, and yeah, I get it, the intended effect of a contrasting palette cleanser for each fight gets across, but that doesn't mean I have to fucking enjoy wage slaving for almost half of the game's runtime. However, the punk rock approach to designing every aspect more than makes up for any of its faults. Banger music, visual combat, slick visuals, and kino writing and performances topping it off. It's no Killer 7 when it comes to batshit meta-narratives or even the aesthetics, but it stands on its own as an iconic start to an ongoing franchise, also marking the start of a more westernized era for Grasshopper manufacturer, even though I'm not really a fan of what came next.